if you're seeing this, Spirit has a message for you. It seems like your creativity is blocked. The radiance you're feeling, the inspiration that you're feeling to find new solutions to your problems or to create something beautiful in any of your hobbies, it is being blocked. But the good news is that we can fix that. So let's go ahead and shuffle the cards to see what Spirit would like you to know about this situation. Spirit, why is our friend blocked today? What is blocking their creativity? And creativity can be for traditional creative mediums like writing and painting, but it can also be for anything that requires creative problem solving like science or really figuring out how to dominate at work. But let's see what is the origin of this problem. So it seems like with the Six of Swords, you are having some difficulty moving forward. There actually is a practical obstacle. And since this is a Swords card, this could be related to communication, or it could be because of a decision you made. The next card is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a card of rest. It's also a card of apprehension. This is, well, we see this casket, this tomb, this guy almost having these swords falling on him. So this is a strong sign that you are aware that you have to face a lot of difficulties coming soon. And because of that, maybe the reason why you aren't able to move forward creatively is that you're afraid to commit to something and it be the wrong decision. But the Page of Swords is a happy sign. It is an indication that even though you aren't prepared for what is ahead of you, your creative thinking is way better than you've ever expected. I think you're assuming that creativity is a tool that comes fully formed and isn't actually something that you contribute to. It's something that you just have. Like, imagine an example. Someone is given this task by a family member to create a picture for a family member's birthday, but they're totally afraid to make this picture because they're afraid it isn't going to be good enough. But they go ahead and decide to put some thought into it, and they realize that their family member loves racing. So they decide to create a birthday card using their favorite NASCAR driver. And turns out their family member completely loves this. And that is what creativity is. You find solutions to problems using everything you do have right now and doing it in a slightly different way. In that example, perhaps that person couldn't find a racing themed gift card or birthday card at their local store, but they could make one and it would be really appreciated by their family member. So we know the origin now, but I want to figure out one way that you can really tap into your creativity a little bit more. Spirit, how can our friend tap into their creativity even more? So we have the High Priestess reverse. This is lacking intuition. So you don't really tap into your inner self to find something. And I usually find that people struggle with their creativity when they are trying to copy what other people have done. When I was growing up, I had some friends who loved art, but they kept drawing the same character again and again in the same pose. They didn't look up different poses or different items to put in pictures. They just did the same thing again and again. And you know your creativity isn't working when you aren't doing something new, or if you are copying something else, if you are learning from something else, you are trying to replicate it exactly rather than giving it a little bit of individuality. So I think that is the essential problem, is that you aren't using your intuition. You are either copying what you've already done before, or you are copying something someone else has done, and you aren't giving a unique spin to it. So the Queen of Pentacles, this is your next card. This is about you not being able to handle more than one thing at a time. You are clearly overwhelmed right now, and a lot of people do find it difficult to be creative when they are overwhelmed. And so I really want you to look at your life and ask yourself, what are you doing too much of? And this could obviously be maybe you're working too many hours at work, or maybe you have too many personal obligations with your friends and family, but also look at the rest of your life, your free time. Are you spending too much time on social media? That is a whole bunch of little decisions, a lot of dopamine, which is going to exhaust you throughout the day. It could also be, are you trying to do too many personal projects or too many creative projects? And if that is the case, you know what's going to happen. You are going to be overwhelmed internally, and maybe that is part of the reason why your intuition isn't working, because you are just drowning in thoughts and feelings, and it is just impossible for you to make sense of it. The next card is the Six of Wands reversed. You lack confidence. You are afraid that even if you create something, even if you solve a problem, you won't be recognized for it. And so it could be that one of the major problems for your creativity is that you are wanting recognition. And there's no problem with that. But one of the problems with demanding or expecting recognition is that you might pursue a creative field or a creative path or a career path where you use problem solving that you actually hate. You hate the process of, all you want is the end result, the recognition. And so if you don't get that recognition right away, or if it doesn't come in the form you want, then you're going to look at all of the effort you spent up until that point as useless. I actually feel this way about art. I'm a pretty gifted artist, and every time I try sketching or drawing or anything dealing with that, I get so much better, but I get almost no enjoyment out of it. And while I could definitely improve that skill and perhaps make a career out of it, I just don't like it very much. And that could be the case with your creativity. You are either pursuing a creative path that you absolutely hate completely, or you're doing some sort of creativity that you don't enjoy, maybe in the particular form or the project you're doing. And you really need to reevaluate what you're doing and get more in alignment. So let's figure out how you can get into more realignment. Spirit, what can our friend do to be in alignment? What can they do? So the Eight of Cups, this is an emotional leaving. You need to let something go. Among writers, there is this saying that you need to kill your darlings. And in this case, that means ending projects or ending decisions you've made and just accepting that you need to let go. And that may be hard, but you know how whenever you start something new, a new book, a new TV show, a new piece of writing or a new piece of art, you're really excited? If you choose to start something new and accept you aren't going back to the old thing, you're going to feel liberated. Now, you may need to completely get rid of this project or this decision. You may need to throw away all your old drafts or at least make them inaccessible. That way you are able to truly emotionally accept that it's not something you're pursuing anymore. And again, that's hard. Killing your darlings is hard, but I think in your case, it is absolutely crucial. Now, your last card today is the Ten of Pentacles reversed. It is about not focusing too much in the future. Now, it is perfectly fine to have goals. It is perfectly fine to have creative goals. But I do think one of the problems you're having right now is that you are thinking too far into the future, that you're not even thinking of your current project, or if you are thinking of your current project or decision, you're only focused on the recognition. So you need to break things down into checkpoints or check-ins where you start making goals focused on the effort you made. So if you were writing a book, for example, instead of having a goal to write a best-selling novel that you make $1 million off of, instead try breaking down your goal into 3 to 5 checkpoints. Perhaps that is checkpoint 1, you write 30,000 words. Checkpoint 2, you write another 30,000 words. And then in checkpoint 3, you finish out the book. Checkpoint 4, you revise the book. Checkpoint 5, you submit the book to an editor. And these goals need to be something that is action-oriented, that you can check off through your efforts and not necessarily through what you tend to manifest when it comes to reputation or success, because I think that would be really, really helpful for you. So my soul friend, that is all I have for you today. If you resonated with this reading, be sure to let me know in the comments. Give me a little sun emoji for your first card today, the sun card. And then be sure to subscribe for more videos in the future. There may be one that perfectly calls out to you. You can also go into the description and comments of this video to book a private reading with me. I would love to answer any specific question you have, or just a private check-in on anything Spirit would like you to know. Otherwise, this is Emery, and I am sending you many blessings.